This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via the mail over at their new platform at easewellness.com. Launch into this last day of this long President's Day weekend by taking 25% off the cost of select products found over at Ease's ever-changing daily deals section. Just fill your shopping cart with those select products and slap down the discount code EB25 to chop 25% off your cost. That's EB25. Then scroll down on ease.com to see all the other different legal adult use marijuana products up for order, all of which show up at your door in less than an hour after you hit submit, assuming you live in a part of California where Ease is active and that it's during legal delivery hours. And if you're outside California, you can swing over to easewellness.com to see if you're in one of the 41 states where that new service is available. That's ease.com and easewellness.com, with Ease spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to all the good folks at Ease for helping support today's news. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, February 18th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 667 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We kick off this fine Monday with a story out of Wisconsin, where the Wisconsin State Journal broke news yesterday that Governor Tony Evers will include a number of progressive marijuana reforms in the proposed budget he will put forth later this month. Tom Angel picked up on the news right away and added in his own brand of background context that's worth a jump over to. You can also find a link to the original Wisconsin State Journal story as well in Tom's story. The proposed plan would create a list of qualifying conditions for registering as patients that include chronic pain, PTSD, and cancer, would allow for the home grow of 12 medical plants per household, and would make CBD legal for patients to access without having to first see a physician. Tom's reporting that Governor Evers will hold a press conference today to talk more about his plans. Open up marijuana moment for the full read on this one. On Friday, the office of Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf released some numbers for how the state's new medical cannabis program has fared in its first full year of operations. In those first 12 months of life, the Keystone State's 45 medical marijuana dispensaries served more than 83,000 registered patients, ringing up $132 million in sales and $2 million in taxes paid by processors and cultivators. There are around 1,000 doctors in Pennsylvania now able to register medical cannabis patients. Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman has been traveling around the state, holding public hearings to gauge people's thoughts on adult use legalization, so the healthy numbers released on Friday for medical marijuana are particularly well-timed. Pennsylvania has just under 13 million citizens, so it flipping to legal adult use would have a big direct impact, to say nothing of the additional pressure it would naturally flex on neighbors like Ohio, West Virginia, New York, New Jersey, and Maryland. Our final top story today brings us out to New Mexico, where late last week, a Republican state senator introduced a bill to legalize adult use marijuana, but to only do so in the form of a state government-owned monopoly, similar to how New Hampshire and Utah's state governments maintain a lock on hard alcohol sales within their borders. In addition to only allowing for government-owned dispensaries, Senator Mark Moore's Senate Bill 577 would ban home grow and set up an 8-member Cannabis Control Commission to oversee the program. It also contains no social justice or equity provisions that states like Massachusetts have been rolling into their system. Pop over to the Sante Fe New Mexican for more on this one and to read more about another bill in the works in the State House that would also lift the prohibition on adult use marijuana. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via the mail over at their new platform at easewellness.com. But don't forget, Ease is more than just a company that makes it easy to get legal cannabis delivery. They're also one of the better sources of free market research, which they kick out in forums like their just-released 2018 Ease Insights State of Cannabis Report, which you can find yourself over at ease.com. It's packed with tons of helpful and valuable bits of data, information, knowledge, and wisdom about why and how people buy and consume cannabis. If you and/or your business could benefit from having a better understanding of the minds of the modern cannabis consumer, then you gotta open up ease.com today and find their free 2018 Insights Report. That's over at ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Thanks again to everyone at Ease for helping today's news happen. All right, time for the Blitz. On Friday, the Vermont State Judiciary Committee voted 4-1 to approve a proposed bill to set up a taxed and regulated sales system. Last year, Vermont was the first state in the union to legalize adult use via the legislative process, but it stopped short of allowing for legal dispensaries to open up, instead allowing Vermonters of age to grow, possess, use, and share cannabis, but not to sell it. That shortfall would be made up in the bill just passed out of the Judiciary Committee, which has been co-sponsored by half of the Vermont State Senate. Senate Bill 54 now heads over to the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committees, where it must pass before landing for a vote by the Senate at large. In West Virginia, a bill was introduced on Friday to protect banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions from being persecuted by state authorities for doing business with legal medical marijuana businesses, while also opening up a bidding process for banking partners to facilitate financial transactions for the medical marijuana system that the state is rolling out. Kyle Yeager over at Marijuana Moment has a good write-up on this one. NJ.com is an interesting story up looking at how life is going for longtime marijuana legalization activist Ed Fortune, better known as NJ Weedman, now that adult use legalization seems poised to land in his state. As Kevin Shea's story has it, and that's a pretty awesome last name, Mr. Fortune is feeling a little left out of New Jersey's quickly advancing cannabis business flow, as his activist past and marijuana-related arrests have made it hard for him to secure traditional financial backing. Give this one a read. Hopping over to the West Coast, the LA Times is a good piece up looking at the slow rolling rollout of the Los Angeles legal marijuana business licensing program. The city's Department of Cannabis Regulation has just 13 full-time employees and has given the official nod to just 180 shops in a city filled with legacy, illicit, and gray market shops. As the LA Times has it, there are a lot of hopeful and prospective entrepreneurs who have been burning time and money waiting for the city to get things together. Another good read. One of the features of California's Proposition 64, which went into effect last year legalizing adult use, is that it was to clear a pathway for legal marijuana and large events to be paired up. But as the OC Register is reporting, last year was actually a terrible year for legal marijuana events, thanks to the confusing legislative and regulatory landscape for that slice of the newly legal cannabis market. Things are starting to look up, though, with around 10,000 people expected to show up to next month's Dope Cup taking place in Southern California. This is an interesting storyline to dive into. A state senator in Montana has filed a resolution calling on the state legislature to study the issue of legalizing adult use marijuana. State Senator Diane Sands filed the resolution last week and said she wants to prepare for the possibility that marijuana voters will pass an adult use legalization ballot measure in 2020. The resolution will be first considered by the Senate Judiciary Committee. And finally for today, we jump out to Colorado, where a local restaurant chain was officially praised last week by Denver Mayor Michael Hancock for upping the minimum wage that it pays its workers to $15 an hour, not including tips. This one lands on our top headlines today because I'm a big, huge progressive who thinks that people should be paid enough money to live on, and more importantly, because of the role that legal cannabis helped in creating the story. Colorado restaurants have been hit hard with hiring challenges over the last 5 years or so, as legal dispensaries have lured away former cooks and dishwashers and waitstaff. Restaurant chain Illegal Pete's, a Colorado favorite, was called out for its higher wages by the Denver mayor on Thursday and said that it actually has saved money in the long run thanks to its near zero staff turnover rate. Those are our top stories and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Jay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.